for the love of the game.
It's all worth the price tag, right? Alexi Lalas joins us this morning. Alexi played for the U.S. men's national team. He was a defender. Alexi is also the lead soccer analyst for Fox Sports. Alexi, the first U.S. game is scheduled to take place indoors in Los Angeles, and you won an MLS championship with the LA Galaxy back in 2002. So what can you tell us about the fans in LA, how you think that's going to give us an advantage maybe for Team USA? Good morning.
Good morning, Weather Command. How are you? You look wonderful. Greetings from a nondescript hotel room here in our nation's capital. I'm on the road promoting, as you said, the World Cup. By the way, biggest World Cup in history, as you mentioned, 3 teams, 104 games, 48 teams with our friends up North Canada, our friends down South Mexico. You mentioned something interesting in terms of the indoor-outdoor aspect of this World Cup. Way back before you were born, back in the 1900s, previous century, I was running around. And we actually played the first ever indoor game. Now, when I say indoor, it was not climate controlled. Rest in peace, the Pontiac Silverdome out there in right outside of Detroit. We come back here 32 years later, and we have 4 indoor venues: Dallas, Atlanta, Houston, and Vancouver. Now, you mentioned L.A. The interesting thing about SoFi Stadium in L.A. is, yes, it has a roof, but it's actually designated as an outdoor arena, which was evidenced a couple years ago when they actually had a lightning break, and they had to send people to the concourse. But either way, United States kicks off, let's see, 32 days from now against Paraguay in Los Angeles at SoFi Stadium to start their adventure that is this World Cup. Now, there's nothing better than a World Cup except for one thing. That is a home World Cup. There is a magic, and if this team can harness that magic, and we've seen it just happen recently with hockey and baseball, America wants to celebrate America, not for nothing, on our 250th birthday. So I think people will come together. I think they will embrace this team. You got to do it when the referee blows that whistle, but I got a lot of high expectations, but I think fair expectations when it comes to this team.
I can't wait to watch this play. I think it is going to grip the country in a way that we've not had it happen for the U.S. Because soccer has always been one of those things, Alexi, where you gain some interest. I played through high school. Didn't play in college. I wasn't good enough. But the fact is, you love the sport, and people will do so much on the global stage. I do wonder the way that this World Cup now is organized, because it is the first time that 3 nations are hosting it. Does that change the significance of it? How do you think that that's going to allow the global audience to respond to this play?
Yeah, so 2 things. Domestically, nothing has changed in that there's this opportunity. I think about opportunity and responsibility. Opportunity is to bring everybody into this tent. To your point, there's a lot of people that will never have watched the soccer game, aren't necessarily, quote unquote, into soccer, right? It doesn't matter. They're going to come into the tent. We want to make it as inviting and as warm and as exciting as possible. We know not everybody's going to stay, but they might just get a little taste. They might get, in the best possible way, infected by this beautiful game. The other word I said was responsibility. Look, this is on our watch. It's going to reflect on me, on you, on the host cities, on our country, on our president, on everybody. And we want to make sure it's the best possible message, whether people are watching from afar or if they come here. I want to make sure they have a kick-ass time. I want to make sure it's safe, and I want to make sure they bring back that positive message to whatever country it is they are, and saying, you know what, through the lens of a World Cup, I had a summer vacation that topped everything in the United States of America.
Yeah, and you talk about getting that taste. So the first soccer game I ever went to was a Houston Dynamo game. It was right after we came out of the thick of Harvey. So Houston was in a really raw spot, and I've never experienced such a party. I mean, literally, the entire stadium was singing and chanting for the entire match. I've never seen such ferocity with the fans. And of course, I'm sure part of it had to do with what we were coming out of as a city, but it really was invigorating. I do want to ask you, Alexi, when we take a look at these moments that kind of change everything, and, hopefully, and I do think that, yes, this will be one of those moments. How do you think weather could be a player in this?
So, I mentioned the indoor stadiums. I don't need to tell you guys that, playing a 90-minute soccer game in, let's say, not just Miami, but let's say up in Boston or in New York, right, outside, as opposed to playing a 90-minute soccer game in a controlled environment indoors in, I don't know, down in Dallas or Atlanta. That's going to take out, very different ways on players, right? You're going to look and feel very differently out of that 90 minutes. And there are some players that have 2 out of their 3 group games played indoors. And so I think it is going to be a competitive advantage. We talk about weather. You guys talk about weather every single day. All it takes is one of these storms to postpone a game. And so some of these environments, it's really going to be interesting how weather affects the players, how weather affects broadcasting, all these different things you have to think about. But again, it's 104 games. It is a lot of soccer.
Wow.
You just gotta belly up and enjoy the incredible buffet that we have each and every day.
More soccer than ever before for a World Cup. So that's something to look forward to. Going to be a little longer too. Alexi, you were Berta had mentioned it in your introduction, the 1994 national team. It did mark a turning point for soccer in America, and perhaps that was because the World Cup was held in the United States. What was it like in the months following? I mean, soccer did take off a little bit. Are we hoping for the same sort of motivation and inspiration to grip the country after this World Cup?
Yeah, look, I'm talking to you today because of the summer of 1994. It changed my life forever. I lived what a World Cup can do to an individual. I lived that power of a World Cup, and my life has never been the same. And I've milked it on and off the field for many, many years. I remember some of it, but it was awesome. But more importantly, I saw what it can do to a country and to a culture, and that's what I hope is going to happen. You know, sometimes when it comes to soccer in America, we kick ourselves for what we haven't done. But every once in a while, I think it's important to pat ourselves on the back, because you look how far we've come in a relatively short period of time. It's amazing. So 32 years since the summer of 1994. As the saying goes, you've come a long way, baby, and we certainly have, like I said, both on and off the field. So I think this summer is an opportunity for us to celebrate what we are as a soccer playing nation. Before I let you go, don't let anybody tell you that we're not a soccer country. Don't let anybody tell you that we don't have a soccer culture. It's different, it's unique, but I tell you what, it's as passionate and as discerning and as educated as anybody out there, and we should celebrate it, and we should be proud of that. You can call it soccer, okay? And you can celebrate this summer with people from all over the world, including Americans here that are going to come, again, into that soccer tent, and hopefully, like you said, just have a party. It's good. It's a simple game. It's a beautiful game.
You're not going to not have a good
it's
time.
A game that parties.
No, it's contagious. We have like 20 seconds. We're getting a wrap, Alexi. You know how it goes. But I'm wondering,
I hear you.
The men's national team, you think they do well this World Cup?
Yes. I think they rise to the occasion, and they produce something special that everybody can celebrate, and through them celebrate the country on our 250th birthday.
It's got to help that it's going to be happening here in the U.S. I know Canada and Mexico is a part too, but having that U.S.
Makes it just a little bit sweeter.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see how it all plays out. Fox Sports lead soccer analyst Alexi Lalas. So good to see you. Thanks for stopping by.
Wonderful to see you. Here's to good weather for everybody.
That's right.
Across the entire country.